Less stress, more time, more money. Welcome to the Cash Flow Contractor, short with Martin Holland.
Spur of the moment pricing decisions. Hi, welcome to this short episode of the Cash Flow Contractor. This is Martin, and today I want to talk about spur of the moment pricing decisions. That's when you, in a panic or on very short notice or without deep thought, planning, and preparation, decide to change your pricing structure. I had a client here about 3 weeks ago. We were talking on a Friday, and he had about $350,000 worth of bids outstanding, but he hadn't sold anything for about 2 weeks. And as we talked, I could tell he's a little under stress, and he said, "Martin, I think it's my prices. I think my prices are too high." Now, I understand that we'd spent about the last 18 months getting his margins up to where they needed to be by adjusting prices and becoming more efficient, but I'm really reluctant to reduce prices after a year and a half of work trying to get them up. So I asked him, why do you say that? Do you have any evidence? He said, well, people have told me that my bid was higher than one of my competitive bids. And I said, that's fine, but did they tell you they're going to go with a competitor? And he said, no. So I said, we really don't have any evidence, any solid evidence that you're losing bids or that you're not going to get bids because your prices are too high. And he agreed that that was the case, and he agreed to stay the course, stick with his guns, stick by his guns. Well, I think that was on a Tuesday that we talked, and that following Saturday, he texted me, and lo and behold, he got 4 of those jobs in a 3-hour stretch on a Saturday morning without lowering his prices. Now, that's a great thing because he maintained his prices and he got his full margins, his planned margins. But the real bullet that he dodged was that had he called those people back and reduced the prices and subsequently gotten bids that he was going to get anyway, he would have it in his head that price was the controlling factor on winning those bids. And that's what we had spent 18 months, a year and a half, trying to get rid of that head trash. And that's just one circumstance. Earlier this week, a different client who we do our sessions by Zoom wanted to come down and meet with me in person. So I said, come on down. When he came down, I said, well, what's up? Happy to meet in person, but what's up? He said, well, I'm losing bids to my competitors. Our prices are too high. I said, what? I said, why do you say that? Well, he has a relatively new salesman, been there about 6 months, who brought him evidence that he had lost 4 bids because of prices. He had the company prices and he had the competitors' prices. I said, okay. I said, that is, price is the most common excuse in the world a salesman will give you for losing a bid. Sometimes it's the case, sometimes it's the reason. A lot of it is other things besides price. But anyway, so one salesman walks in and talks to my client, says we're losing bids, and my client's ready to restructure his whole pricing plan. I said, haven't you been selling at regular prices during this period? Yes. He's got 4 other people, so I'll just call them A, B, C, and D. I said, isn't A still selling at the old pricing plan? Yes. Isn't B, C, D, aren't they all still selling at the old pricing plan? Yes, 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 yes. Well, then why are we thinking about restructuring our entire pricing plan, the model that we've got that's going to take you to the profitable place you want to be? He said, that's a good point. He said, I guess I just kind of freaked out. I said, I think so. Now, in both cases, we want to pay attention to the competitive environment. We need to know what people are bidding against us. But we don't immediately assume that the problem is pricing. If you look for pricing issues, you'll find it in every bid you do. So spur-of-the-moment pricing decisions are basically kind of a panic attack. By the way, if you have a spur-of-the-moment pricing decision and you want to double the price, I'm all for it. Spur-of-the-moment pricing decisions where you reduce price because of a perceived competition or perceived price problem, don't do it. Stay the course. I'm going to tell you a little story that my father told me, and I think it applies just perfectly here. My dad was a flight instructor when I was a young man, And this was before we had a lot of the avionics now that make flying really easy, GPS and all those things. And a lot of times you flew with what's called dead reckoning. You drew the course out from your origin to your destination on a map, and as you flew along, you unfolded the map and looked where you were on the line, and that's how you got from point A to point B. Well, what would frequently happen is maybe some clouds would come in, maybe it would be a little foggy on the ground and you missed the town you were supposed to fly over, and doubt starts to set in. You start wondering, am I still on course? Did I miss a turn? And with the worst thing that you can possibly do, the worst thing that can happen to you is you begin to seriously doubt enough that it becomes just a little tinge of panic. And so you turn. You're going to turn around left and go back and circle back and see if you missed that town. And now you think you're back on the course and you get back on the course, but you don't really know if you're back on course because you turn to the left. So this time I'm going to turn to the right. And all of a sudden, you really are lost. What my dad always told me was stick to the course that you set when you were calm and sitting in the airport. That's the same thing with pricing. Stick to the course you set. Stick to the plan. Don't make spur-of-the-moment pricing decisions that can wreck everything you've been working.
Thanks for listening to The Cash Flow Contractor. Check out our website in the show notes or visit thecashflowcontractor.com.